So let me tell you something I watched play out. A friend of mine was talking to this guy who was clearly into her. The chemistry was so strong that they were texting all day, talking late into the night, but the moment he started showing real interest, planning dates and being consistent, she started to back off. And I remember asking her, why are you suddenly acting distant? And she said, because I don't want him thinking that he's got me already. And this is the mindset of a lot of women. And that's when it clicked. Mixed signals aren't necessarily a sign of confusion, it's simply control. Jessica O.S. here, welcome to the channel. In this video, I'll break down exactly why women send mixed signals, what they're really trying to test, and how to stay in control no matter what she does next. By the end, you'll know how to tell the difference between a woman who's genuinely interested and one who's just basically managing your attention. So stick around, because once you understand this, you're good to go. Let's jump right in. Mixed signals is equal to emotional leverage. Let's dig deeper into this. When a woman sends mixed signals, what she's really doing is creating tension. And tension in her mind equals emotional control. It's the emotional version of push and pull. One minute she's giving you warmth, the next she's pulling back just enough for you to question what's happening. And that uncertainty is where she gains leverage. See, women instinctively understand that desire grows in space, not certainty. If you're wondering why she's suddenly taking longer to reply, or why was she so into me yesterday but cold today, it's not by accident. She's watching how you handle uncertainty, because your reaction reveals your position in the dynamic. Let's say she texts you all night one week. She's flirty, she's engaging, she's complimenting you, and then goes quiet for 3 days. You'll start wondering what went wrong. You replay the conversations, maybe send a, "Hey, just checking in" text. Congratulations, she just learned that she can control your attention with her absence. Women know that attention is the most valuable form of validation a man can give. When she realizes that her pullback makes you chase, she understands something powerful. You're emotionally invested, and she's not. Not yet, anyway. Now, don't get me wrong, she's not always doing this maliciously. Sometimes it's just instinctive, a subconscious way of her protecting herself while she tests you. However, the effect is the same. She has you reacting to her rhythm instead of staying in yours. That's emotional leverage. And here's what's dangerous about it. Once she knows she can control how you feel, she starts using that control to measure your strength. If you stay calm, confident, and consistent, she'll feel respect. If you panic, over-pursue, or start questioning her, she'll feel power, because attraction thrives when both parties feel like they have something to lose. But when she knows you've already lost your center, she doesn't need to invest emotionally. She already owns your attention. So what do you do instead? Recognize the pattern early. When her behavior starts fluctuating, don't panic, observe. When she gets distant, don't chase, mirror. Your job isn't to decode her mixed signals. It's to show that you're not emotionally tossed around by them. That's how you flip leverage back in your favor, by proving you're the one with emotional discipline. Point 2. It's a safety test, not always manipulation. Let's be real. Not every woman who sends mixed signals is trying to play games, yeah? Some are, sure. But a lot of them are testing something much deeper, your emotional stability. You see, women are wired to look for emotional safety long before they even think about commitment. And the way they test that safety isn't always direct. They don't come out and say, "Hey, let me see if you can handle uncertainty without losing your mind." No, they create it. So they'll pull back just enough to see how you react when things stop going perfectly. For instance, do you start over-explaining yourself? Do you send 4 follow-up text messages because she didn't reply fast enough? Do you suddenly go cold or defensive? Because every one of those reactions will tell her whether you're emotionally grounded or an emotionally fragile guy. This isn't manipulation, it's observation. Women don't just want attraction, they want stability within attraction. They want to know, if life throws me off balance, will this man still lead, or will he crumble under pressure? So when she acts distant for a day or two, or stops being affectionate, she's not always rejecting you, she's just checking your reaction. She wants to see if your confidence depends on her behavior or your own center. I'll put this into a real scenario for you. You've been seeing each other for, say, a few weeks, right? Things are going great, and then out of nowhere, she starts texting less, seems distracted, or says she needs space. Now, a man who's reactive will panic, and the questions will start flowing. Is something wrong? He'll start to over-explain, try to win her back, double down on reassurance. But a grounded man doesn't chase. He always stays steady. He gives her space without losing composure. He's not cold, he's calm. He respects the pause instead of fearing it. And that's when most women feel something they didn't expect. Attraction intensifying. Because they realize, this man's not trying to control me. He's secure enough to let me figure myself out. This is where so many men get it wrong. They mistake her emotional fluctuation for manipulation, when often it's calibration. She's measuring how safe it feels to trust you with her emotions. The more unpredictable you become when she's inconsistent, the less safe she feels. The more stable you remain when she's uncertain, the more trust you build. So the rule is simple. Don't punish the test, pass it. You pass it by refusing to let her uncertainty dictate your value. You pass it by staying composed, patient, self-assured, even when things feel unclear. Because while games are about control, tests are about trust. The manipulative woman wants power over you. A genuine woman wants proof of your emotional strength. The difference between the two is how you respond when she starts sending mixed signals. Point 3, control is the currency of modern dating. So modern dating isn't about romance, not anymore. It's about leverage. Everyone trying to see who cares less, who texts last, who holds the upper hand. And women are masters at this game because in today's dating world, control is the new currency. I'll explain. A woman's power in modern dating doesn't come from physical beauty anymore. It comes from the attention economy. She doesn't need to be the most beautiful woman in the room. She just needs to know how to command attention. And the easiest way to do that is by being unpredictable, by keeping you emotionally off balance, close enough to stay hooked, but distant enough to stay in control. When she gives you affection one day and goes cold the next, she's creating emotional volatility. The emotional high-low dynamic is addictive. It's what keeps men checking their phones every few minutes, rereading texts, replaying voice notes. It's psychological. The uncertainty releases dopamine. You're literally being conditioned to crave her approval. In modern dating, whoever needs the least amount of reassurance wins. That's why she'll test how quickly you respond, how much effort you give, how emotionally reactive you get. The moment she realizes your mood depends on her availability, she knows that she has control. Now, combine that with social media, where validation is instant and endless. She posts a photo, she gets 200 likes, 30 DMs, 10 fire emojis before lunchtime. So if you're over pursuing her while she's already being flooded with digital validation, she doesn't feel desired. She feels safe knowing she can lose you and still have options out there. And that's leverage. And she's using it to maintain emotional dominance without ever fully committing. I'll paint you a picture. You're texting a woman, conversations are great, vibes are great, you plan a date, she seems excited, and then suddenly she cancels last minute with something like, oh, I'm sorry, something came up. No reschedule, no follow-up. You wait. She doesn't text you days later. Then as you decide to move on, she pops back up with a, hey stranger, text message. You feel relief, but she feels control. Because that one message reactivated your investment without her having to give up anything. And that's the modern dating loop. Push, pull, validate, withdraw. It's not about connection anymore. It's about position. So what do you do as a man? You flip the economy. You make self-control your currency. When she sends mixed signals, don't react emotionally, observe her behavior. When she withdraws, don't chase, withdraw too. When she returns, don't reward inconsistency, meet her energy. Because the moment you show that your attention is scarce, valuable, and not easily manipulated, the dynamic will change in your favor. Point 4, the fix. Flip the power dynamic. Here's the part most men never master. How to stop being the one reacting to her behavior and start being the one setting the tone. You see, when you stop chasing clarity and start demanding consistency, you flip the entire power dynamic. I'll break it down. When a woman sends mixed signals, your natural instinct is to seek understanding, right? You want answers. You want to know, hey, where do things stand? The problem is the more you chase that clarity, the less clarity you'll have within yourself. And once you lose that inner grounding, once you lose your center, she becomes the emotional center of the relationship, right? That's when she controls the pace, the tone, the level of commitment, and I could keep going, all while you're stuck trying to interpret her next move. So the fix isn't about outsmarting her, it's about reclaiming your emotional control. When you detach from needing her to validate your place in her life, you immediately become more attractive. Not trying to play games, but demonstrating composure under pressure. How do you do it? Stop reacting. Start observing. Every time she pulls away or acts inconsistent, don't rush to fix it. Just take note. Her patterns will reveal more truth than her words ever will. Match energy, not effort. If she slows down communication, you don't punish her or chase, you adjust. You show that your investment is proportional to hers. That creates a sense of mutual accountability and respect, not desperation. Redirect your focus. Most men obsess over her attention instead of their mission. The fix is to channel that mental energy back into your own goals, your fitness, your work, your peace, right? The more grounded your life is, the less space you have for confusion. Communicate boundaries without emotion. You don't need to make threats or ultimatums. You just make your standards clear. For example, say, I don't do well with inconsistent communication. I prefer clarity. Say it once, say it calmly, and then follow through with action. The beauty of this approach is it forces her to make a choice. Either she steps up and matches your steadiness, or she disqualifies herself. And either way, you win. You see, attraction isn't built on pursuit. It's built on polarity. When she can't easily predict your reaction, her mind stays engaged. When she feels your emotional discipline, her respect for you will start to grow. So the fix isn't about turning cold, it's about turning calm. When you stay calm, you lead. When you lead, you control the frame. And when you control that frame, the game will change forever. Point 5, the psychology of a control game. Let's go under the hood for a minute, because understanding why women use control in relationships is what separates men who constantly feel confused from men who stay centered no matter what. At the root of mixed signals lies one simple truth. Every human wants emotional security, but nobody wants to be the one who risks it first. So what do women do? We use control as emotional insurance, right? Women want to feel desired, but not exposed. They want your attention, but not the vulnerability that comes with truly opening up. Control gives her the illusion of safety. And that's why she'll say things like, I'm just seeing where things go. Or I'm not ready for anything serious, but still text you every morning, flirt, keep tabs on your life. She's not confused. She's managing risk. She wants to know you're there, but she's not ready to hand you the emotional power yet. By staying ambiguous, she gets to enjoy your attention without risking rejection, commitment, or any form of accountability. Some deeper psychology for you. Mixed signals protect her ego. If she opens up too soon and you pull away, she's just going to be left feeling foolish. But if she keeps things gray, right, she can always retreat with, I never said I wanted anything serious. It's not about deception. She is trying to get control over how much you can hurt her. This is why your reaction to those mixed signals determines everything. The moment you start chasing clarity, pleading for consistency, or demanding answers, she senses that her strategy is working because now she's controlling the emotional tempo. But when you stay calm, composed, and unbothered, she loses that very power she was trying to hold. You see, control and attraction can't coexist for long. A woman can only feel drawn to a man she doesn't completely understand. So, the more she feels she can push your buttons, the less she'll desire you, the way of the world. However, when she can't easily predict your emotional state, she feels compelled to earn your attention again. That's when she starts investing. It's psychological polarity. She controls until she feels safe. And she only feels safe when you're in control of yourself. So here's what it comes down to. Don't compete for emotional control, command your own. Don't chase clarity from her, create clarity within yourself. Don't decode every action. Decide what level of consistency you'll accept and walk away from what doesn't meet it. I'll wrap up now. At the end of the day, remember this. Mixed signals aren't a mystery to solve. They're simply a mirror, okay? They show you whether you're leading with confidence or chasing for validation. So stop decoding and start deciding what you'll tolerate. If you found this powerful, you know what to do. Smash that like button. Don't forget to turn on notifications and subscribe to the channel as well. My name is Jessica OS. I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.